Hey folks, go away. A couple of days ago, I did a video about a Tennessee pastor that was ranting because members of his church were complaining about him. And he went on a bit of a tirade. And I talked in that video about how it is very important that we are willing to speak up, that we are willing to speak out when we see our churches, when we see our organizations going in the wrong direction. That silence, it's never okay. As he said, some of y'all can't stop talking about your church. Good. I believe that's good. Now, he's not the only one who's feeling this way. There's lots of different Falphets out there, for example, who are doing videos every Sunday and during the week, and they're talking about how the members of their church just keep yammering on about the fact that their prophecies didn't happen and they didn't come true and their prophecies were wrong time and 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 time again. But that doesn't mean that they're false prophets. And the membership of their church, you just need to stop talking because probably because it just hurts our feelings. But at the end of the day, lots of these teachers, Falphets, lots of these leaders are experiencing growing unrest in their congregations. And it's taking the form of people talking about them behind their back. There's something for us to learn in their tantrums. Personally, I think that if you're upset because people are talking about your prophecies not happening, failing, being lies, then we'll just stop offering false prophecies. But something they are bringing up is important for us to learn from. If you listen to their talks, they're saying things like, some of y'all are out there talking behind my back. And this is the lesson. We should never be talking about somebody behind their back. Now often there's reasons for us to do it. Some of them are good reasons, some of them are not so good reasons, some of them are a matter of safety. Maybe we don't feel comfortable, maybe we don't trust that person enough to go to them with our concerns face to face or one-on-one. And maybe the reason we talk about people behind their back is much more malicious. We don't want to give that other person a chance to respond. But whatever the reason, talking behind somebody's back is not the best way to affect change. The best way to affect change is direct communication, taking our concerns to those we are concerned with. Jesus, in the Gospels, he actually teaches a little lesson on this. Now, we often see this lesson and we tie it into when somebody hurts us, when somebody harms us, but the process, the procedure, the methodology that he offers, it works in this situation as well. It works in situations when we have questions for leadership, when we have concerns about leadership. What he says is, when somebody sins against you, so when you see something that you don't like, go to the person. Go to the person and share your feelings with them. And if they don't respond in a way that you think is appropriate, then bring a witness with you next time. Bring a person or two with you to be there with you as you broach this subject with them, and as you offer your concerns, your questions, your complaints. And if it still doesn't work, then ask them to stand in front of the congregation so that you can do the same thing again. You can bring your concerns, your questions to them. If they still don't respond in a way that is satisfactory, then you show them the door until they've learned a better way. Direct communication, one-on-one, whether it's in person, whether it's a phone call, whether it's an email, is the best way forward. It might not get us the results we want. It may get us results that are absolutely contrary to what we actually want. It could erupt in a firestorm. It's part of the risk. But it is necessary. I've had many conversations with people because of this channel who have gone to leadership and expressed their concerns. And I've had some who've told me that their leadership were loving, they were wise, they were discerning, they were accepting what was being offered. They didn't necessarily agree with the criticism, they didn't necessarily agree with the questions, but they were willing to listen. They were willing to embrace. And the truth is, that is a very, very good style of leadership. Be willing to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Take what is being offered and discern about it. See if God's voice is inside of those concerns and those questions. And if God's voice is there, listen. And if God's voice isn't, set it aside. But always do so in a loving and considerate and compassionate manner. And others that I've talked to have said they've told me they've had exactly the opposite experience. And as a matter of fact, we've talked about churches offering that exact opposite experience, where they go so far as to ostracize the person who has come forward with the complaint and with the question. I've heard stories of people who have had pastors berate them, minimize them, treat them like nothing, call them out in front of the congregation as though they were some form of pariah, and my heart breaks for them. But they did the right thing. They took their concern, they took their questions, they took their critique, they brought it to the person or to the people that needed to hear it. And it might not even be the head pastor, it might be the wardens, it might be the executive committee, it might be the deacons. But they took what was bothering them to the people that needed to hear it. And they let things unfold. This is a good way. It's a courageous way. It's a character-building way. It's Jesus' way. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that when we have these moments, when we have these thoughts germinating within us, that we will be willing to courageously take them directly to those that need to hear them. As frightening as that may be, as counterproductive as it may turn out to be, I pray we would be willing to do it. Because it's what's best. It's what's best for us. Amen. Nemultus.